5 o'clock on this Thursday evening, November 9th, 2017. It's time now for the Peter Channel 5 o'clock news on this Thursday evening, November 9th, 2017. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter J. Wiggins. Time is 5 o'clock on this Thursday evening. The top story of the Peter Channel 5 o'clock news is Mitch McConnell calls on Roy Moore to exit Alabama Senate race if these allegations are true. Senate tax bill delays corporate tax cut Trump called essential. Ex-Trump security chief testifies he rejected 2013 Russian offer of women for Trump in Moscow. Schumer blasts Trump for stripping the blame away from China on trade. Louis C.K. crossing the line into sexual misconduct, 5 women said. Mystery deepens surrounding Red Paul injury. And a review of the tensions between Saudi Arabia and its neighbors. All eyes on Trump and Putin attend the Vietnam summit. Syria declares victory over Islamic State. Hurricane Murray devastation pumps ocean express rethink. 43 allergic to dairy dies after eating grilled cheese at preschool. Texas shooter claimed to buy animals on Craigslist for target practice, former colleague said. Clinton Democrats I come back. Feds Obamacare site does business again while about half of the people can pay $0. The foreign ministries of Saudi Arabia and Kuwait warned their citizens of Lebanon to leave the country as soon as possible. The European Commission announced on Thursday it will surpass economic growth expectation for this year, predicted robust growth in 2018. U.S. and Chinese companies have signed deals worth more than $250 billion during the President Trump's visit, Chinese President Xi Jinping said Thursday. 7 out of 10 South Korean security experts said that they believe he possibly unification with it. North Korea may take more than a decade of flow showed on Thursday. Seoul, South Korea, and the United States once South Korea has been up America's finest military equipment such as Aegis radar systems and P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft. The first 3 minutes say he was reported out of President Trump has been arrested by rear to the United States, F-40 said. The Texas church where 26 people were killed in the state's Dallas mass shooting said they won't reopen, the pastor said. 5 officers were awarded the U.S. Capitol Police Medal of Honor for their actions when the government opened fire on Congressmen practicing for their baseball game. 7 weeks after Hurricane Maria, FEMA said Thursday it's offered to transport victims still sheltered to the United States mainland. Boston, a researcher, says air during that discovered severe damage to parts of the brain that play an important role in memory, impulse control, and behavior. In Providence, a mid-morning chase that should have involved 7 police officers on a busy Interstate 95. In Providence left 1 person dead and 1 injured on Thursday. The shootout came less than 2 hours after a suspect being taken to court and left in a state police cruiser along the solo driver of Providence neighborhood and abandoned it. Police said the shooting and theft were related, but they said they were still investigating the connection on Thursday afternoon as police said several officers were chasing a white pickup truck and 2 people inside when the shooting happened around 10:45 a.m. on the stretch that Interstate that skirts the city's downtown at Providence Place Mall. A woman truck was injured and taken to Red Eye Hospital. Serious condition, Providence Police Safety Commission said. AT&T ready to fight U.S. on Time Warner deal. Black Friday is for 2 weeks, but some stores are already offering deals. New CEO wants to put a step on Uber 2.0. Trip advisor under fire for removing claims rate without flag hotels with reported incidents. Looking at the stocks now. Down 101.42 points at 23,461.94. SP 5 9.76 at 25,84.62. And Nasdaq down 39.06 points at 6750.05. Dinosaurs would have survived if asteroid hits Earth elsewhere, scientists claim. Bizarre 3-year-long supernova defies our understanding of how stars die. Extinct wolf-sized otterhead powerful bite. SpaceX rocket engine suffers failure during the test. U.S. Drug Agency determines sets on illicit fentanyl analogs. Monsanto's universal weak kill Roundup does not cause cancer. New study shows an EPA approval of bacteria fight mosquitoes captures long quest. Peter Channel News time is 5:04 on this Thursday evening. Is time now for a sports report. Sox and the Bruins and the Celtics have the night off. I mean all night. Lots of ball. Look, poised against Celtics. Ezekiel Elliott suspension back. Court denies the deduction. Martell's Bennett claimed on waivers by Patriots after being released by the Packers. And Peter Cello Newstorm is 5:05 on this Thursday evening, and it's time now for a traffic and transit report, baby! Let's study off on the MBTA where the subway system is looking good. And the commuter rail ferries out looking good. Look at the downwards and boutways of New England, and the big traffic concern is 195 west in Fairhaven. A major multiple vehicle accident involving a tanker truck and a automobile. 195 westbound at 2 to 40 highway was closed in both directions. Portions of 195 and ramps and from 240 are still closed as well. So, alternate routes. If you're going to New Bedford on 195 west from Cape Cod, take North Street, which is exit 19, and get on North Street and down to Route 6. If motorists go to the Cape Cod from New Bedford and Fall River, expect to take exit 12 Fox Quarter Road and then take Route 6 and then go for New Bedford and for the moment, and then get on North Street and get on 195 headed to the Cape Cod. So, if you're in that area of the accident, so motorists headed to that area in Fairhaven, avoid the area towns because cleanup can be lengthy and it'll take a while. So, be patient and seek some alternate routes. Okay, other traffic concerns around the region. 95 southbound side, so from Pawtucket to downtown Providence. 95 on the northbound side, it's slow from 117 Work all the way down to downtown Providence. Southbound side, it's slow from Cranston all the way to downtown Work and down Route 4 in East Greenwich. 295 on the northbound side, it's slow from Work all the way down to Johnson. 295 on the southbound side, so from 44 to Smithfield all the way to Johnson. 195 westbound side, so from Seacock area to downtown Providence. 146 on both ends is backed up between 99 and Lincoln on Route 146 in North Smithfield. 195 eastbound side, it's backed up all the way down to Route 140 in New Bedford before the accident scene. Westbound 195, it's backed up from North Street to the accident scene. 6 on the westbound side, it's so from Fairhaven on to New Bedford. Southeastern Massachusetts 485 on the southbound side, so from Route 1 in Plainville all the way to Route 140 in Mansfield, and hit back again from 24 to 44 to the rate of the Middleborough stretch. 95 southbound side, 7 go from 120 in Canton to 295 in Attleboro. 295 on the northbound side, it's so from Route 1 to Route 95 in Attleboro stretch. 24 southbound side, 7 go from 120 in Canton all the way down to Route 140 in Taunton. 3 on the southbound side, so from Marsh Street down to Kingston, and 3 on the southbound side, so from the Main Street Split all the way down to Route 228 in Rockland. Out of 485 on the southbound side, so from 60 to Milford all the way to Franklin. 485 on the southbound side, so from Route 20 Bummer all the way to Route 135 in Hopkinton. Mass back on the westbound, mass back at both ends backed up between South Boston and Logan Airport. Mass back both ends, it's backed up between Newton and the Nelson Tolls. Mass back eastbound side, it is backed up all the way to Logan Airport via downtown Boston. Mass back westbound side, it's backed up all the way past Route 485 at Westboro. 128 on the southbound side, so from Route 20 Waltham down on the Braintree Split. 128 on the northbound side, so from the Split all the way down on Route 28 in Randolph. 93 both ends of Boston is backed up. 7 Expressway sold on both ends. 128 on the southbound side, so from Western all down to the Braintree Split. And southbound side, it is backed up all the way down to Route 3 in Burlington. 128 on the northbound side, so from 20 in Waltham all the way down to Route 95 in Peabody. 92 on the southbound side, so from 79 to Zanky Bridge. Route 1 and so forth, and from Torbenor Bridge down to Route 93 in Charlestown. 710 Seoul, Calentell's looking good. 128 on the southbound side, so from Beverly all the way down to Peabody on 128 on the northbound side, so Peabody stretch. 128 on the northbound side, it's backed up between 20 and Waltham all the way to Route 95 in Peabody. 485 on the southbound side, it is so from Havel down to Chelmsford. 485 on the northbound side, so from Chelmsford all the way down to Lawrence. 3 on the northbound side, so from 120 Burlington all the way up to Chelmsford. 93 on the northbound side, it's so from Zanky Bridge, Boston, on the Route 120 to Silver. 93 on the southbound side, so from the Silver stretch. And then 93 on the northbound side, so from 62 in Wilmington all the way to Route 2, 110 in Lawrence, and 93 on the southbound side, so at 213 in Lawrence. 95, it's looking good from 120 to PPD all the way to the New Hampshire border. Today, westbound side, so from Northborough all the way out to Worcester on the westbound side. Today, eastbound side, so for Route 122 and Route 9 to Worcester. And 91 southbound side, so for today, went to Route 57 in the Springfield stretch. And 91 on both ends is backed up between Woods Locks, that's in Hartford, Connecticut, and backed up all the way at Rectory Hill. Southbound 91 is backed up all the way down to Middletown, Connecticut. 84 on both ends is backed up between Farmington all the way to Hartford, Connecticut. Eastbound side is backed up all the way to East Hartford, Connecticut before 384. Today, one eastbound side, so from 91 to 5 in Hartford, Connecticut, and 84 westbound side, so from Waterbury stretch from Cheshire all the way to the Waterbury and the westbound side, eastbound side, so from Middlebury to Waterbury, Connecticut. 84 eastbound side, it is slow from Denbury and Newtown, Connecticut. Merritt Parkway eastbound side, it's slow from Greenwich all the way down to Milford. 95 on the northbound side, so from Greenwich all the way down to Bridgeport, Connecticut. 95 on the northbound side, so from Milford down to New Haven, Connecticut. 95 stop and go for the Brentford stretch. 91 on both ends back to the New Haven stretch. And 95 on the westbound side, it'll slow for the New Haven and the West Haven stretch. And up north, 93 on the northbound side, it's slow from Salem to Manchester, New Hampshire. 93 to the southbound side, it'll slow after Route 101 in Manchester, New Hampshire. Route 3 to the northbound side, it is so in the Nashua stretch. 93 to the northbound side, it'll also around Concord, New Hampshire. Spalding Turnpike at the northbound side, it's slow around Route 4 in Durham, New Hampshire. 295 on both ends is back to for the Port Main stretch. Main Turnpike northbound side, it'll also around 202 in Gray, Maine. Southbound side, Main Turnpike slow after Route 295 in Gardner, Maine. And Route 1 will also on Brunswick Main stretch. 84, 89, southbound side, also Groton, Vermont stretch, and 84 to 89, northbound side, also Colchester, Vermont, and Interstates east of 89, 91 on southbound side, slow from the upstate New York and Vermont after the Canadian border, and onwards 15 and 55, slow in 7 Quebec after the U.S. border. Peter Cello News Time is 5:12 on this Thursday evening, and it is time now for a weather report, and it turned out to be a decent day. It turned out to be average days that not too hot, not too cold, just right. But be bundled up tomorrow because it is gonna be a frigid Friday in store. Meanwhile, take a look at the weather outside. It's a beautiful clear blue night. Okay, take a look at current conditions. The North Massachusetts temperature 44 degrees with a dew point about 38. Humidity 78%, and barometer 30.07 inches. Okay. Looking at the current conditions around the region, it's 47 in Boston, 46 in Beverly and Gloucester, it's 48 in Bedford, 51 out in Fitchburg, 45 in Worcester, 50 in Norwood, 51 in Taunton, 50 in New Bedford, it's 49 in Plymouth, 48 in Falmouth, 50 in Chatham and Montreal and Nantucket, it's 47 in Provincetown, 47 in Providence, it's 50 in Quonset, 50 in Block Island, 53 in Montauk, 52 in Islip, 53 in New York City, 51 in Bridgeport and New Haven, it's 50 in Denbury and Meriden, 48 in Waterbury, 49 in Hartford and Winslow, so it's 47 in Springfield, it's 46 degrees out in Greenfield, Mass, 47 in North Andover, so it's 46 in Pittsfield, 47 in Albany, New York, 44 in Silver Springs, that's 45 in Rutland, Vermont, 46 in Bennington and Brattleboro, Vermont, 45 in Lebanon and Keener, 46 in Devon, Hampshire, 47 in Nashua, Manchester, Hampshire, 45 in Concord and Portsmouth, Hampshire, 43 degrees in Port Maine and Laconia, New Hampshire. Okay, let's take a look at our surface map around the country. It shows our photovoltaic stretching from western PA all the way down to Georgia with a low pressure down around Georgia. Stationary front from Mexico and with a low pressure in the northeast of Mexico and a cold front from The Gulf of Mexico is stretching for Florida and a station front off the front coast and cold front with a pair of low pressures. 2 areas of low pressures off the Atlantic coast and high pressure around the middle United States and a station front from British Columbia all the way down for the Rockies and emerging a cold front from Colorado stretching and meandering throughout the midsection and through the Great Lakes and a pair of low pressure stretching one from Ontario and up to Quebec. And a low pressure stretching off the Washington coast of the Pink Front off the Pacific coast and stretching down for Washington, Oregon with a front from Oregon down for California and down for the Bahamas of Mexico. And a front from Oregon down for Northern California with a pair of low pressure down around Northern California and a high pressure down around much of California and Colorado Rockies in Texas and North Dakota and high pressure ridge around much of the Northeast. And a front from Oklahoma down for Illinois. And low pressure in Wyoming. And this, behind this front, it's going to be here tomorrow morning and it's going to move here and it's going to usher in some frigid, cold, and windy weather. It's much of New England. It's 46 degrees out in Detroit, 52 in Pittsburgh, 56 out in Washington, D.C., 54 in Atlanta, 85 in Miami, Florida. It's 61 in Brownsville, Texas, 56 in Dallas, Texas, 43 out in Kansas City, 32 in Omaha, Nebraska, 40 in Chicago, 21 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, 22 Great Falls, Montana. It's 47 in Seattle, 67 in San Francisco, 69 in Los Angeles. It's 75 in Las Vegas, it's 82 in Phoenix, 60 in Albuquerque, Mexico, 43 in Denver, and 60 in Salt Lake City, Utah. And 75 in Vegas. Okay, let us take a look at the radar satellite loop, and it shows clouds coming with a bunch of western portion of Connecticut and Massachusetts, and then coming a bunch of Vermont, North Germany, and some patchy clouds coming up to the Massachusetts coast from Newburyport all the way down to Plymouth, and coming in a bunch of Provincetown, and down the west of us, a patchy rain showers down around Granite, Wilkes-Barre in Pennsylvania, and northeastern Pennsylvania, and stretching on a southwestern central tier of New York State from east of Binghamton and down west of Albany, and rain showers just around Yorktown and north of Boston, and raining around Clifton, New Jersey, and raining around JFK Airport in New York City. And we're seeing some snow showers stretching from east of Ripton, Vermont, and down for Granville and Brookfield, Vermont, and snow showers south of Gorham, New Hampshire, and up around Earl, New Hampshire, and northwestern Maine, and snow north of Livermore Falls and west of Farmington, Maine. And looking at the radar shows another line of rain showers stretching from western New York from Buffalo up to northeastern central Ontario, and then some snow showers from western Quebec and stretching down for the north central Ontario, down to much of Michigan and northeastern Wisconsin, and around UP and Michigan up and around Duluth, Minnesota, and raining around from Toronto and down for east of Detroit and around Windsor, Canada, and still around Thunder Bay. And looking at the natural radar satellite loop shows some clouds and rain showers from the Carolinas down for eastern Georgia, and clouds around central Florida, rain showers off of the southeastern Texas coast, and rain showers from western Washington, Oregon, and down for northern California, and some snow and sleet down around the Western Cascades, rain showers from around Idaho down to northern Nevada, and snow from much of Montana down for southwestern portions of Saskatchewan down for southern Alberta, down for southeastern portions of British Columbia. Alright, what I am thinking. It's going to be a frigid Friday in store. Falling temperatures thanks to a powerful cold front, gusty winds, wind advisory for much of the region from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow. Another cold one on Saturday and slight warm up on Sunday. And we got a forecast discussion. And out to the front main trigger, a few rain and snow showers tonight, and very windy and near record cold weather falls Friday into Saturday as coastal storm may impact the region early next week into wet snow possible to high terrain. Rain likely elsewhere, but our confidence is low details at the time of the range. Mid and 9 level clouds continue with the stream across the region ahead of a approach of the front out of the eastern Great Lakes late this afternoon. The CDOT goes 16 bloom, non-open, goes 15 visible, satellite image, nothing some Notice some spotty showers that have developed across northern New Jersey and off the Delmarva coast at 20Z. Then see a few showers over the Lake Archer. The Erie flankland of a front will remain dry front the rain in the afternoon. Wind shift to the southwest tonight as negative H5 short wave pushes steadily east overnight, while H5 cutoff low develops over the southern Quebec but remain progressive most of the energy and moisture. Our social weather system remains well north of the region, however. The majority of the 12Z model sweep meters holds onto the band of moisture just ahead of the front, so cannot rule out a few rain showers that may mix or change to snow showers in north central and western Massachusetts. The front moves across overnight. Pressure gradient tightened as the front passes with winds quickly shifted to west-northwest. Now a strong low to mid level jet with winds up to 30-45 knots, up to H85 along with an extra mixing with low level relapse rates of 9-10 Celsius kilometers moving across after the midnight. So we'll see wind gusts increasing to 25-35 knots by around 8C or so high across the higher terrain along the coast, especially toward daybreak, and temperature bottom out in the low to mid 20s. Well, inland range of the 35-40 along the coast. And tomorrow, if you are going to the Norton High School for the football game, Norton Lenses versus Sharon Eagles, 6 p.m. tomorrow night, it's going to be 28 degrees, cleared frigid with wind chill in the teens. So if you're going to the Norton Lenses football game tomorrow night, just like yours truly, bundle up, definitely, because it's going to be freezing. And it also, and the weather we're going to have tomorrow for the game reminds me of the ice ball that the Norton Lenses football team played against the Hull Pirates back November 21st, 1987. It was a freezing day because it was played in Hull, because Robert Stevens brought up that it can get frigid cold out in November at a football games in Hull. Okay, we are in the wind advisory in effect from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, and National Weather Service and Thunder Edition wind advisory in effect from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. As location, Norfolk, Connecticut, all of Rhode Island except for Newport County and Block Island, and all of Massachusetts except for the Cape Islands, as well as the east slopes of the Berkshires. Northwest wind about 15-25 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 miles an hour, and time on Friday morning. Winds of this magnitude may bring down some limbs or small trees and outside power outages are possible, and the wind advisory means that sustained winds up to 31-39 miles an hour are expected to gusts up between 46 to 57 miles an hour. Winds are strong are capable of down to some small tree limbs and branches, possibly causing isolated power outages, and driving can be difficult, especially with high-profile vehicles. Use extra caution. Okay, 7-day forecast. It goes like this. Tonight, isolated showers up to 12. Most of the clouds go at 35 degrees. Calm and coming southwest wind 6 miles after midnight. Chance 12% for Friday. Fall temps, sunny sky had temperature fall to about 32 by 5 p.m. Northwest about 11 to 18 miles gust size. 40 miles an hour for Friday night. Clear sky about 62 degrees. Northwest about 10 to 40 miles gust size. 28 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny forecast about 3 about 62 degrees. And northwest about 80 miles an hour. Shift down calm wind gust size. 20 miles an hour for Sunday. Put the the most gust about 45 about 32 degrees. For Monday, a chance made of snow before 9 a.m. Then a chance made between 9 a.m. and about 11 a.m. Clouds got about 47 degrees and chance made 30%. Monday night, mostly clouds go out low about 35 degrees. But Tuesday, put the forecast about 40 about 32 degrees. Wednesday, most steady, most clouds about 40 about 36 degrees. And for Thursday, put the sky about 53 degrees. And Peter's weather phrase of the night is a frigid Friday in store tomorrow. That's me for the Peter Channel 5 o'clock news on this November 9th, 2017 on a Thursday evening. I'm Peter J. Woods. Hope you have a good evening and goodbye day, and I'll see you at 11 o'clock for the later. Hope you have a good evening.